Alright, family, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go. We're about to build it up. Y'all ready? Gotta get the music going. Gonna take it off the Wi-Fi here so it won't be pestering me, alright? Just trying to reconnect. Let's see if it's gonna reconnect. Alright, yeah, reconnected. Okay, cool. You know, we got a lot of stuff going on here on Gye-Nyame Journey. Brother trying to do just a little bit of research. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who out there right now, but until, we build the crowd, we got to go and play our intro here. Let's go and do it. And we can go and drink a little bit of water, get yourself together. You know what I'm saying? You can see what I'm saying? We're about to do it. All the messages is going out. The flag has been raised. It's time for us to gather. It's time for us to build. It's time for us to go and do some research. Time for us to do some wisdom mining, family. Some wisdom mining. Are you ready? For those that want to check the story, you got a couple minutes. Wow. The song is playing. It is called The Eagle and the Fox. The Eagle and the Fox. Let me turn on the phone line as well.
This is Bill Hatim, and you have joined us on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Be sure to check out our site and subscribe at tribe.gyenamejourney.com.
All my brothers and sisters, hold hands and bow your heads. Let us pray. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He ready for much to God. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? I say, between the poor and the fatherless, injustice to the afflicted and the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid the might of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They go on and go. All the foundations of the earth are out of court. I have said, in your God, if all of you are children of the Most High, that you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, bless the earth. God shall endure all nations. Allahu Akbar.
This is Canal 6, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Keep up with the journey. Check out what we have done in the past. Go to journeyarchives.com.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
Be sure to follow Gye-Nyame Journey on Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter. Check us out. Join the journey.
This is Ivan Sheik, aka Ace, live from Shisha Lounge, and you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio with Monica. Enjoy. This is Naomi with the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio.
This is Willie. Welcome to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. I want to give a shout out to Silver Kevin and my Silver Nation out there. I want to give a shout out to my mom. I give a shout out to my dad for raising me and my family for being around me. And I want to give a shout out to the people of my generation that's trying to do something big. Hotel. This man sure Hotel, aka Mr. D. Mr. D, does it sound good? I think it sounds great. Right now, you're listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve a glorious name. This is what I tell code at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Radio. Shout out to the Gye-Nyame tribe, Gye-Nyame family. Stand up, please. If you're not adding anything to the culture that you claim, you don't deserve to carry your name. This is what I tell code at you live, and you are now listening to the Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Shout out to Gye-Nyame Tasha. Stand up. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. Peace. This is Gina. And you are now on Gye-Nyame Radio. Peace.
I've had enough. You heard the man. We had enough. Man. Oh my God. That was put together for me by DJ Chadwick. Can't remember his brother's name. Chadwick. I can't remember his name. It's been a while, man. I've been using that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I will have to share his link. Sometimes I share some of the stuff. So family. What's up, Sister Heather? How are you doing tonight? Man, and we have had enough here at Gye-Nyame Journey, so it's time for us to get into some stuff. All right, first things first. I wanted to make sure everybody know that for the Daily Toasters, we have the Daily Toaster shirt available. Yep. When you support the journey, you get the shirt. All right. Look at that. Daily Toast is where we gather daily to remember those upon whose shoulders we directly stand. So for the libations that we do, we make sure that we pour for those folks that had a direct influence on our life, direct influence left us with wisdom. So when you get that, you also get my book Seven Sticks. I don't have a new copy. It's well used. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, a lot of times people think the folktales is just for kids, but it's not just for kids. We got to understand there's a lot of answers in some of these folktales. So what I did was took some of those folktales and I mixed them up. So when you get the shirt, because like I'm saying, I'm going to a black producer. When I produce the shirts, you know what I'm saying, it costs a lot. So I got to go on and supplement those that do give, you know what I'm saying, those that do trade. Let's call it a trade, you know what I'm saying, because we trade and throw the book in. But this won't be due and this won't be available until after May 19th, which happens to be the day of the Malcolm X Festival. We getting ready. We preparing. Shouts out to Miss CeeLo. I see you out there. Thank you for joining us. May 19th, we'll be doing the Malcolm X Festival here in Columbus. We still need people to support. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you could give, you know what I'm saying, will be helpful. I will post up the link. But everything is moving so damn slow on my computer. Yep, I got the Wi-Fi back. But, of course, they're trying to let me know that you need more Wi-Fi, Mr. Brown. You need more Wi-Fi. You know, you need more Wi-Fi. You know, I'm like, what? Are you serious? You know, because when I got it, they said this was the highest plan. Now I'm finding out it's not the highest plan. So also what I'm doing, sitting back and reading, I'm getting some information that I can share with those on the journey. So, for those that don't know, I was introduced to the whole conscious piece at Ohio State campus. I was new to Columbus, and they started talking about some stuff that really interested me at Ohio State. And eventually, I ended up going with them one night to a place called the African Center for Study and Worship. There I ran into a brother by the name of Nomo X. And Nomo X became a mentor, a father figure. He's the godfather of my oldest son. And it was an honor to, as he would say, soldier with that brother. You know what I'm saying? And they had activities, but they had their heyday. And I used to listen to Nomo. And Nomo would tell me about what was going on prior to my birth and prior to me coming to Columbus, because I didn't hit Columbus till 1987, the summer of 1987. And I got over to them about 1989, late 1989, early 1990. And as I got more involved in the Columbus community, I started dealing more and more with Nomo. And Nomo would tell us stories about a group called the Afro Set. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to start gathering as much information about the Afro Set that I could. So I found a little pamphlet. There's a book online I'm going to get to. It's called By Any Means Necessary, The History of New Libya, Afro Set as a Case Study of Black Nationalists in Cleveland. Now, this says Cleveland, but Afro Set had reached all the way down to Columbus by way of Nomo. And you know what I'm saying? This is our direct lineage, this is our direct line, our direct connection to, in a sense, the Black Nationalist movement. Also, one of my sisters sent me a book today. It's called Equilibrium 360, Basic Survival Instincts Preparation Pamphlet. You know, and all this stuff is on the internet. You can get it at no charge. This brother make a very good quote. He says, let me open it. As far as survival, he says, you can't keep what you can't protect. Ain't just in the survival situation. It's the fact of life that a lot of us got to realize. And what he got is some basic survival preparation pamphlets for any issues happen. So, you know what I'm saying? It's best to be prepared just in case. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. And you never know when some of these skills might come in handy, because he talks about food that you might want to have. He talks about creating a bug out bag. He talks about some of the first thoughts that should be on your mind if an emergency pop up. And we already know that a lot of this stuff will come naturally, but it's kind of good that somebody sat down and thought it out. So this is going to be something that we also be passing around. And the last thing that I'm reading, I told y'all about it earlier. This is a study created by, co-written by Antonio Moore, and it's called What We Get Wrong About Closing the Racial Wealth Gap. All right, and it looks like this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going and I'm getting this stuff so I can read up on some old school stuff as well as some new school ways of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because it's always good to see what some of the young people, I mean, you know, they ain't that much younger than me, but they are younger than me. But what, you know, it's always good to know what's out here. You know, it's always, because You never know where a cutting edge thought is going to come from. You never know when wisdom will appear, and you need to make sure that you are ready, right? So, I'm going to drink me a little bit of water, and without any further ado, we're going to get into our show. For some reason, my Uber conference is acting up. I don't know why. So let me take down my super phone. Maybe that might help. I got my phone off the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. But it's cool. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it happen regardless. I will pray that we be able to receive calls. But if we can't receive calls, y'all already know how we're going to do it. Y'all already know that we're going to make it happen anyway. Brother Hatim, I always strive to deliver. This is what I do. All right. Now, some of the things that we're working on, because T-shirts, one of my sisters came up with the idea. She said, for those who want the custom T-shirts, like, for example, with the day, with your day color, with your day name on it, you know what I'm saying, we could work that out as well. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just got to let me know what you want, and I will make it possible for you to do that when I post it up. But like I said, I'm still working on the T-shirt piece, and I will be getting back with you in late May, early June, because we got a camping trip in right after the Malcolm X Festival, and then we got one in June. And I'm thinking about we might need to push the one in May to the one in June and focus all of our efforts on the camping trip in June and keep up the pace of the training, because we need to spend a little bit more time with some of the warrior training, getting some more of the young people involved, because we got a few, but we need to get more, right? We need to get more adults involved. You know what I'm saying? Because the efforts that we are pursuing requires hands on multi-levels. We have, because in order to get the youth together, we got to make sure that we got the adults that are able to set the example, males and females. So we're going to be doing the camp in early June, somewhere around there, about 3 days. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be during the week, so I'm going to be letting people know that want to come out, and you could go on and take your vacation time and come out and have a good time with us, as well as learn. When is the next warrior training? Not this Kuumba, next Kuumba, right? Because we just had one to pass in Kuumba. I will be sending out the text, right? And I will be sending it out earlier, because one of the next pieces I'm working on is making sure that the flyers are created so that I can also send those out in enough time so people can prepare for it. And we would love to have you, Miss CeeLo. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you getting up on that African heritage diet, because that's going to be one of the courses. Because one of the things that I'm asking adults, that when they come, right, come not only willing to share your knowledge, but also come to learn something from the young people. Because everybody that's part of Gye-Nyame journey, everybody know how to drill. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to know how to drill. Everybody got to show some type of physical fitness. Everybody got to know the question. You know what I'm saying? Because we're kind of wrapping it up with the whole building. You know what I'm saying? And building and making sure that we are able to bring people in properly. We got to make sure that we are proper, right? We got to be the example, and we have to start to begin developing ourselves to be who we want our people to be. And, and we're not doing the Borg thing. We all think alike, and no, we're gonna be falling out. We're gonna be arguing. But what we have to do is establish a bond of love, and that's what happens when you go out to the woods. You don't believe me? Ask Sister Heather. You know what I'm saying? Because you develop a definite bond with people when you spend time with them outside of the environment that you come from. Especially when you have to try to manage and keep everything moving. It's a powerful thing, right? And also, we're going to have some young people going up to SIMSA as well as Simba this year. So we're going to have to, we're going to have to help a little bit with some of that fundraising. So we got all year round fundraising to do. It's crazy, right? Because the problem is that the economics in our community is so below what we think it is, right? And that's what this one book talk about. This one little, it's only a 58-page piece, But in that 58 pages, man, they're breaking down some real myths that we have been fed about the economic position of black folks. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we really need to start looking at that. All right. So, without any further ado, I need to remind you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. Where you at? Where you at? Why are you tripping? Let me say it again. Lord have mercy. You are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I appreciate you finally deciding to go and join this anime. Good God Almighty. Right? Uh-oh. Somebody just jumped up on the line. This is a Heart of a Simple production. Of course, you know this is Folktales for Grown Folks. Strive to blow up your old paradigm. Oh, okay, I see the speaker finally came up. Google Conference finally came up. All right, so here we go. The Eagle and the Fox. An eagle and a fox formed an intimate friendship and decided to live near each other. The eagle built her nest in the branches of a tall tree, while the fox crept into the underwood and there produced her young. Not long after they had agreed upon this plan, the eagle, being in want of provisions for her young ones, swooped down while the fox was out, seized upon one of the little cubs, and feasted herself and her brood. The fox on her return discovered what had happened, but was less grieved for the death of her young than for her inability to avenge them. A just retribution, however, quickly fell upon the eagle. While hovering near an altar, on which some villagers were sacrificing a goat, she suddenly seized a piece of the flesh and carried it, along with a burning cinder, to her nest. A strong breeze soon fanned the spark into a flame, and the eaglets, as yet unfledged and helpless, were roasted in their nest and dropped down dead at the bottom of the tree. There in the side of the eagle, the fox gobbled them up. What time on Kaumba the 5th? 3 o'clock. Somebody on the line. Let me go on and get them on. See if we can get them on. Why didn't I get a signal that somebody was on the line? Okay, there you go. That's the same day as Makeda's Kwanzaa every day event. Oh, snap.
Joining conference now. This call is being...
All right, somebody on the line. How can hey, what's going on? Who is this? I think I know who it is. How you doing? All right, the signal is kind of bad. I guess I don't know what's going on, man. I'm trying to work with this Wi-Fi. AT&T! Damn. All right, so I'm gonna read this one more again. The eagle and the fox. An eagle and a fox formed an intimate friendship and decided to live near each other. The eagle built her nest in the branches of a tall tree, while the fox crept into the underwood and there produced her young. Not long after they had agreed upon this plan, the eagle, being in want of provisions for her young ones, swooped down while the fox was out, seized upon one of the little cubs, and feasted herself and her brood. The fox on her return discovered what had happened, but was less grieved for the death of her young than for her inability to avenge them. A just retribution, however, quickly fell upon the eagle while hovering near an altar, on which some villagers were sacrificing a goat. She suddenly seized a piece of the flesh and carried it, along with a burning cinder, to her nest. A strong breeze soon fanned the spark into a flame, and the eaglets, as yet unfledged and helpless, were roasted in their nests and dropped down dead at the bottom of the tree. There, in the sight of the eagle, the fox gobbled them up. Now, Miss CeeLo, we meet every other week. So if you can't make that the next one, we'll be meeting on that next one, and then it's going to flow right into the Malcolm X Festival, and then we're going to continue meeting, because after that we are going to be introducing the Emotional Emancipation Circle to everybody that's coming to the event, as well as we got some martial arts teachers on standby. You know what I'm saying? Of course we got the study part where it's on standby. You know what I'm saying? And the discussion. You know what I'm saying? And the drill and the ceremony. So there's going to be a lot of learning going on. So all right, family, let's get into it. Sister Tiandra, you want to make a comment on the story? Could you hear it clearly?
Yeah. Thank you.
Say again?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get into it. Brother Shaka jumped on the line. I'm sure he'll be calling in. For those that want to know, that don't know, the call-in number is 614-556-4535. I don't know what the hell is going on with Uber Conference. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. I don't know what's going on. But you know what? The ancestors going to carry us through. So here we go. So now what we have here, we have an excellent, excellent story. Now, this brings Amos Wilson to mind to me. And let me tell you why I bring Amos Wilson. Because one of the first things that I remember hearing Elder Amos say, the ancestor Amos Wilson say, that when it comes down to West Asians feeding their children or your children, who do you think they're going to pick? Right? We got to always remember this. Survival is always mandatory. Now the fox and the eagle were friends, but it's the fox is in both of their natures to prey upon others to survive. In order for an eagle to survive, he's not going to swoop down and grab no grass. He's not going to swoop down and grab no leaves off a nice high tree. He's not going to go and grab a bale of hay. No, he preys on other animals. Sometimes birds like himself, other times snakes, and sometimes baby foxes. The same with the fox. The fox is more like a scavenger. It's going to kill small things, but if it finds something big laying there, it's going to eat. Now, we have an unlikely friendship that comes between these two semi-predators, right? Because now, this is one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about the eagle. Because the eagle is one of the dirtiest birds that ever existed. Appropriate for the American symbol. The eagle will swoop down and steal something right from you. The eagle will swoop down and steal a fish off a hook. The eagle will steal down and eat some dead stuff. The eagle is a dirty bird. You know what I'm saying? As majestic as people try to make it, the eagle, you know what I'm saying? The eagle is, he kind of ruthless. You know what I'm saying? Just like in this story. So we got two friends that decide to live near each other. At least we thought they were friends. And when the eagle came upon a moment in time where he was hungry, what did the eagle do? The eagle swoops down and grabs supposedly one of his friend's cubs while the fox was away. Swoops back up to his hungry children or her hungry children and feed them. Now, what I love about this is that the fox, it says, let's go back to the fox. The fox on her return discovered what had happened but was less grieved for the death of her young than for her inability to avenge them. And you know, family, for a long time, and even into today, our people have suffered the plight of the fox. Yeah, we mourn the passing. But in many cases, sometimes, I think we may be mourning the fact that we can't do anything about it. This fox, as slick as a fox is and as smart as a fox is, could do nothing to the eagle. And that hurt the fox more than the fact that he lost his young one. Go ahead, Brother Shaka. Welcome, by the way. Say again? Man, this line is horrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up and try to call back in. Or wait, hold on. Let me see if I can fix it. Fix it from here. Let's see. Microphone, HD web, okay. Default speaker. So what the hell is going on? Let's test the sound. Sound good on my end. You still on that flip phone, Shaka? You still using that flip phone, man?
The artist has ended the conference. Goodbye.
What? What happened? It sounded like it said you still there, Shaka? Hello? Hello? All right, let me try hanging up. Disconnect me. All right, cool. So now what we're going to do is I ended it for me, but I'm going to call back in. Well, I'm going to end it. I'm calling back in, family. I'm going to start it over. So now, the fox is in a position where it's angry and it's hurt because more so, it couldn't not only protect his own, but it couldn't do anything about what happened to his own. And I want you to imagine, do you have to imagine this feeling of being in a helpless position where there was nothing, absolutely nothing you could do. Now, since the fox was in this position, one of the things that I love about this story is that it stresses one of the principles that we talk about often in our system. And if we look at the laws of Ma'at, one of the major principles on there is called reciprocity. The fox was gifted something from the universe, and it's called reciprocity. So this greedy eagle, this thieving eagle, right, rather than hunting for his own food, is always looking for a shortcut. And this is how eagles really are. So this eagle swooped down and grabbed a lamb and moves back to his nest, not knowing that it was carrying its own destruction. Now, so it's several different angles in this piece. This eagle, right, because it was greedy and lazy, took advantage of its friend and consumed one of his cubs and got over. And for a minute, it was riding high. It was riding high. Kind of maybe even forgot about the fox. But in his greediness and his hastiness to get something and get away with it, it ended up carrying its own destruction. So in this greed, one of the things you get out of this is greed leads to destruction. Because oftentimes greed comes with some sense of laziness. Greed comes with getting what you can, where you can, as fast as you can. right? And this eagle fell for it and carried its own destruction, or better yet, the destruction of his young. Now I want y'all to think about this. We don't know how many cubs the fox had, but we know that the eagle only got one. But the universe saw fit to make sure that the fox, you call it fortune or whatever, made sure that the fox was able to feast on every last one of the eaglets. So the universe is just. The universe is powerful. You know what I'm saying? The universe always pays back its debts. Right? The universe always collects. Right? So now, the fox wasn't praying necessarily for this, but the fox was able to look and get the final laugh. Fox was patient. The fox continued living his life. The fox had to continue his hustle. It couldn't stop its hustle, or it and the rest of the cubs would die. It figured out how to protect the rest of the cubs. It handled his business, and it continued on with his life. And when the fortune came, the fox was able to take advantage of it. Right in front of the eagle. Right? What comes around, goes around. Very clear. Very simple. Shaka's back up. He's still up. Let me see if my computer will let me call in. I might have to give me another phone so I can do this properly. But this is AT&T's way of telling me, you need to up your package. These motherfuckers ain't slick.
Joining conference now. This call being recorded.
Okay, go ahead, Shop. I'm back up. You sound a little bit better.
All right. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, you sound good.
Right. Gotta get Sister Gye-Nyame back in the mix.
Did you hear the story? Man, this is good.
I was reading along a little bit. Now let me get this straight. So two friends moved on the same side of town, and the eagle came down and swooped the cubs.
Right.
Ate them.
Ate them up. Ate them up. Ate one. Only one. Dirty, wasn't it?
I mean, cubs. Yeah, it's dirty. It's dirty.
And that's what happens, man. So, and then another lesson in this is watch who you declare as your partners. You know what I'm saying? Because the fox had no reason to believe, well, actually, he should have. You know what I'm saying? He should have. Then another lesson in this is people's natures. You know what I'm saying? The eagle has a certain nature. And the fox, I guess the fox was oblivious to it, or the fox didn't really pay attention to who it was becoming friends with. You know what I'm saying? And this dude, this thing became a predator and basically destroyed one of his children's lives. Be careful who you hang with and what you hang with. Man.
Yeah.
It's sad, dog. I mean, and how many of us know or have even fell prey to somebody in our life like this eagle? How many times have this played out in some of our lives? You know what I'm saying? Because some people be like, man, you need to learn how to climb that tree and get up to that eagle. And you be like, nah, it's cool because, you know, what comes around goes around. Comes around goes around. You know what I'm saying? I'm continue doing what I'm doing. I'm not gonna let this fool sidetrack me. I'm going to rebuild my family. I'm going to double protect them. You know what I'm saying? I lost one. I took one. And you go on with your life. But then you find out later on that the very same person that did you wrong in some form or fashion has received their comeuppance. They received their allowance from the universe, because reciprocity goes around and makes sure that everybody in the universe gets what they put out. You understand what I'm saying? And it's sort of like, and one of the sad things about many of us is that we don't even feel, we feel wrong and we feel like that fox felt. Because if you read that, the fox was sadder, more upset, because it could not do anything to this ego. And some of us feel bad because we feel that way. And it's not even that deep. You know what I'm saying? Because it's natural for you to want to get back at somebody that did you wrong like that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, but then we don't want to become consumed, because remember, the fox handled his business. The fox continued living. The fox continued doing what the fox was supposed to be doing until the blessings fell right before his feet. Some of us, when we run into those issues and we run into those problems, we stop. We get stuck. And what starts to happen is that because we get stuck in that place, we forget about everything that we have to do to continue maintaining our life. We get caught up in the sorrow, and the sorrow turns to a sense of seeking vengeance. And in seeking vengeance, right, we start making crazy moves. We start doing stupid things. That fox stayed on course. And the universe rewarded it, because if the ego was dirty to her, the ego was going to be dirty to other things. And eventually that ego was going to bring trouble home.
So what was the blessings at the end? I didn't get that part of the story.
The blessing at the end was that the ego went and stole somebody else's stuff and didn't know that it was fire attached to it, some hot coals attached to it, flew all the way back to his nest. The nest caught on fire. All of his little eaglets, because they couldn't fly, caught on fire, cooked, and was prepared, and fell at the feet of the fox. And the fox was able to eat them and look up at the eagle.
Wow. Yeah, man. Hey, hot sauce. Yeah, I feel it.
Did you just say hot sauce?
Yeah.
That was the only thing that the fox was missing. The only thing could have made it better. Nothing like some vengeance.
I forgot the part where, what about trust? If it's in a person's nature to be this way, or two people are both this way, I mean, I don't see where the real trust was to think that it wouldn't happen to them. If they see that they would be, basically devour any other prey, why not mine? Because we're friends?
Yeah. That, and that's a mistake that many of us make. You know what I'm saying? Many of us make, because we're black. Won't do me like that. We're cousins. He won't do me like that. A person's nature.
Yeah, I get that.
A person's nature.
That reminds me of the story of the toad and the scorpion. You heard this story before?
Is it an Aesop fable?
It could be.
It is an Aesop fable, man. But go ahead.
Man, it was a scorpion. It was a scorpion that said, "Oh, hey, come here. I'm trying to get on the other side of this water, and was wondering if you might just let me hop on your back and you swim me to the other side." And so it's like, Man, come on. You a scorpion. How I look putting you on my back? He gonna kill me. The scorpion's like, come on, if I kill you, then neither one of us make it across the water, now do we? So it was like, well, I guess I think. So I hop off, and so straight across the dry land, the hit and scorpions. I was sitting like, oh, you promised me who was going to kill me. Scorpion.
Your mic going in and out.
Oh, you ain't hear the punchline? I'm a scorpion, and I do what scorpions do.
And hence the people's nature. Now this is another piece for this, especially for those family members. This is why initiation is important. Because initiation allows you to see another person's character. Because it puts them under stress. And you really get to see who a person really is. Who a person really is under stress. Do you understand? I mean, the importance of that. You get to see who somebody really is in those hard moments. In those desperate moments. Think about this. The eagle was supposedly at a desperate moment. And the eagle said, hell with this. I'm about to go down here and get one of these little cubs. I've seen the mother leave. So I'm going to go down here and get one of these cubs. The eagle, nature, came out. What we have to do is we have to start learning how to evaluate people's nature. We got to look at their principle system. We got to look at their standards. Because what starts to happen is, because we really don't know who people are, we end up falling for the okie doke. We end up becoming friends with other predators. If we're a predator, we become friends with other predators, and we say, oh, they ain't going to do that to me. They wouldn't do that to me. Why would they do that to me? You know what I'm saying? We cool. You know what I'm saying? And I've been in situations like that. And you know what I'm saying? Especially in the street. You know what I'm saying? You be like, oh man, they wouldn't do that to me. All your money gone. Oh, you on when you sitting up at gunpoint about to lose your life. Hell, in academics, it happens. You sitting there and the idea that you had is on somebody else's paper. Or the song that you was thinking about, Shaka, that you thought you could share with somebody. They out singing it. You know what I'm saying? Because you shared it. You know what I'm saying? We got all types of people like this that reveal their nature to us. And we have to be willing to see it. Because oftentimes we'll put on blinders and be like, oh, that was just that time. They won't do it again. Some of us in relationships like that. And it's not healthy. And when we look at it as a culture, we are in that type of relationship right now. Right now. Huh? A predatory relationship. Well, they won't do that to us. We all Americans.
Especially in our situation, we have to take into strong consideration not hate each other, but the nature of the beast, the nature of the system that we empower our people.
Man, get up on that mic, cause you 1 minute you clear, next minute you breaking up. Are you using your mic or are you using your phone?
Oh snap! Hold a second. Am I on phone?
Okay. Well, you gotta get up on that mic, cause when you was up on that mic, it was coming through clear. It's like you be drifting back or something.
I heard him clear through the phone. When I was on speaker, it was kind of like breaking up.
Hold on a second. I might just have to switch my source.
Oh, I gave my idea. Right? So, and family, We gotta, like I said, that's why that initiation piece is very important, man. It's very important. Because we have to start identifying people's character because just because they look like us does not make them us. Let me say that again. Just because they look like us does not make them us. And sometimes some of the us don't look nothing like us. You know what I'm saying? I have found honorable people everywhere. And I have found dishonorable people everywhere. So we have to start, we have to, in a sense, you got to set up a border in your life. Just like I say, we need to set up a border around our community, just like we got a border in Gye-Nyame. You got to set up a border around your life so that you know that when somebody crosses the border into your life, you know who it is. Because what happens when you come into the country? You got to show them your passport and tell them your intentions. And even before you get the passport, you got to go through a process where they're looking at your past, and if you got certain things on your record, you can't even come to this country. Hell, and if you did certain things in the country before, you are not allowed back in. But many of us, we got open borders on our lives. We got open borders on our community. We got open borders on our organizations. We got open borders. So anybody could cross over. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm as mad as I am at Wakanda, the idea of Wakanda. I can dig what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because the borders are very clear. And the members of the Wakanda family, of the Wakanda people, is very clear. You know what I'm saying? And hell, you know, even if you remember going back to the beginning scene of the movie, when when they was in Oakland, and the brother was there, and the two women knocked on the door, and they opened the door. He had to identify himself before they even called the king in. How do we know it's you? He pulled his lip down and had the tattoo on there, right? They had a little secret thing so that they could recognize who he was. But even in that scene, the king was coming to confront him about some of the dirt that he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you know what I'm saying? You showing that you don't necessarily belong to us. You got to come home. You got to come home and you got to step before the council of elders to let them in, to inform them about what you did. That's the honorable thing to do. That kind of ended up kind of messed up. Because I kind of think he could have stopped all that without necessarily killing the brother. But damn, you know what I'm saying? Damn. I mean, but hey, that's Wakanda. I ain't gonna beat up on Wakanda tonight. Because y'all know how I feel about Wakanda.
And on top of that, so what? He had tired claw marks on his heart. That could have been anybody in New York. That could have been anybody in Compton. Back in the 80s, man, don't get me started.
They did have some long, rough nails, didn't they?
I'm just saying, man. I mean, you know, some of these things we gotta not think that it's all fiction. You know, I don't know what it is about crack, but crack addicts back in the day had some superpower, some superhero type energy. For real. They can make the impossible happen for $5. I don't know what it was, but go ahead, man. Don't get me started on it.
Well, maybe it wasn't crack. Maybe it was that green light off of Black Lightning. But anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Releasing some of those superpowers. And by the way, for those who haven't seen the show Black Lightning, I wasn't going to watch it, but I went over my brother's house, man, and he set me down and had me watch one episode. I said, damn, this is pretty good. So I watched another episode. Then I went over my mama's house, and she was watching it, and I was like, oh, let me sit down and watch this. Sister Jackie on the show told me, you need to watch it. I sat down and said, I'm going to give this shit a try. That was some good shit. That Black
It's like hanging with Mr. Cooper, but with superpowers.
I don't remember hanging with Mr. Cooper. Oh, he was a teacher.
Had a show?
I remember that.
Kind of like that.
All right, family. So, anybody else want to take another crack at the folktale? Because if not, we have been on here exactly 60 minutes, and I'm gonna keep it to where it's supposed to be. And I'm gonna give everybody a last chance to go on. And matter of fact, we just gonna stop it, right? Because the proverb kind of speaks for itself. Trust, right? Establishing borders. You know what I'm saying? Know who around you. Know who in your circle. You know what I'm saying? Reciprocity. Talks about reciprocity. I think those are the main things right there. Right?
Well, you know what? I really want to emphasize what I think might not have come through earlier. And my whole point is that we have to also not just understand the nature, each other's nature, and put ourselves in. And see, that's the way I identify with real trust. Is, acronomically, I define trust as to respect and understand selfless trial. Respect and understand selfless trial. So to really, put ourselves in a situation to be able to observe someone's behavior outside of their world. Not stalking, but in the sense knowing their rhythm, because everyone has a rhythm. And the piece is that now that we know that everyone and every individual has a rhythm, you throw that next level in, which is the system. We all have a way that we identify and we respond or react to the system. And so that's the other piece, is that when you put your loyalty on the line, you depend your livelihood, your survivalhood depend on relationships.
Right.
And you put that on the line. In the real world, when people work for the system, they're going to choose their paycheck before they'll choose you. Do I follow through with my obligation, the ones that I show up for 40 hours a week and get a paycheck for? Or do I appease this individual from my community that I know I'm about to do in because that's what the system does? However, I have to because it's what I'm paid to do.
Right. Teach us
Which
how to be
choice
predators.
will they choose?
Teach you how to
all
be
the
a thief
teachers
and
on the
eagle.
line. When you get students that come to class all bruised up or whatnot, is your first reaction as a mandated reporter to call that number or to investigate yourself before you throw the parent under the bus? These are real questions,
right?
Because this is where the divide is at.
I almost told him to say that.
So go ahead, man. It's the nature of the beast, along with the nature of everything else and everyone else in the context. It's the nature of the beast that keeps the action going.
Shouts out to Miss Nicole Pittman. I see you out there. Thank you for stopping in to the journey. But shoot, Shock, you got any?
Nicole Pittman in his house.
Right. You got any last words?
Who? Me?
Yeah, because we about to close out, my friend.
I thought that's what I was just doing.
I'm just, all right, that was about the folktale. All right, cool. Well, he closed out. I'm going to just say, hey, family, know who's in your circle. We got to test each other. We got to test each other, family. All right? But, hey, this has been, I need to let you know that you are now listening to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. I am your host, Brother Hot Tim, and this has been Folktales for Grown Folks. You know we strive to blow up your old paradigm. be back next Scoochie Chagalia with another folk tale. Hope to see you. And I want to say shouts to all those that's watching it now, and shouts to people watching it in the future. And I want to send shouts out to the Spreaker fam because y'all been coming through like you wouldn't believe. And yo, Facebook, y'all been doing it. All right. So hey, remember we will have the shirts out after the Malcolm X Festival, right? You get a book with it. I'm sending it straight to you. So get ready. So family, I am out.
Peace.
Peace out.